On March 30th, 2025, Full Grip Games in Akron, Ohio held a $1,000 Gym Leader Challenge format tournament, allowing use of the brand new cards from the Journey Together expansion 2 weeks before their official tournament legality date. The tournament drew in 125 competitors, one of the largest GLC tournaments in the format's history. And the entire tournament, all 7 rounds of Swiss and the top 8 elimination rounds, were live streamed by Tricky Gym's Andrew Mahone. Gym Leader Challenge is a custom Pokemon TCG format that uses the expanded pool of TCG expansions all the way back to Black and White, but with special deck building rules. Only 1 copy of each card that's not a basic energy. All Pokemon in a deck must share the same type, and no rule box cards or A-specs allowed. Here were my favorite moments from the 11-hour live stream. But really, all of the games played were fantastic, and I highly encourage you to go check out the full live stream VOD over at Tricky Gym's YouTube channel, linked in the description. There's sure to be at least one matchup that interests you, and some great moments of levity with Andrew and Riley in the commentator booth. In round 3, Ashton plays an escape rope to push Josh's Wobbuffet out of the active spot, turning off the Bide Barricade ability and allowing Ashton to use Shady Dealings and Super Cold to summon up and power up a Tri-Edge Articuno from the deck, which has the plus Ancient trait that lets it take an additional prize when it knocks out a Pokemon. It does 20 damage and you flip 3 coins, and for each heads it does 40 more damage. And Ashton then proceeds to go on a rampage against Josh's Psychic Deck's unevolved board, taking 1,
2 heads, yeah. Wow.
2,
Chanting for the tails, but that's a heads off the first flip. So Articuno has taken 4 prize cards, dude. Hey, no way. It's over.
3 knockouts, and all 6 prizes with Articuno, not even caring about ability lock from Wobbuffet, since ancient traits are not ability, nor are they rule boxes. In round 4, with both players at 2 prizes remaining, Alex is able to shut down Brooke's bench barrier Mr. Mime with a Silent Lab and KO her active Giratina with his Regieleki, thanks to a damage boost from Electro Power, pulling ahead in the prize race and going down to 1 prize remaining. But Alex is just 10 damage short of also knocking out the Monkey Dory on the bench with Terraspark's 40 bench damage. With a Dimension Valley, Brooke is able to bump the Silent Lab that is shutting off her abilities and able to move 3 damage counters from Monkey Dory onto an already damaged Flaffy.
Oh boy. Wait, does Brooke have Win? Mimikyu? Terraspark?
And power up a Mimikyu to copy the Terraspark attack and knock out Alex's Regieleki and Flaffy on the bench to allow Brooke to take her final 2 prizes.
Brooke with the showstopper win there over Alex, the Gym Leader Challenge League champion from last year.
That was amazing. Yeah, that Mimikyu put in a lot of over the course of the game, taking that early knockout on the Blitzel and then having to and then copying the Regieleki to take the game. The combination of
in round 5, after a rare Rotom-less turn 1 from Ben's colorless deck, Spencer just misses winning the match on his very first turn if he could have found a double dragon energy to go with the fire energy that Reshiram accelerated from hand to Regidrago.
Ben doesn't have a stellar turn 1. If Spencer actually finds a double dragon,
if it was double dragon,
win.
it's game over. Yeah.
And then suddenly finds himself on the back foot when his Regidrago is KO'd by Snorlax on Ben's second turn. But Spencer immediately reestablishes his board with Clara, bringing back Regidrago and the energy it had, and this time with a luxurious cape, and completely halts Ben's progress with an enhanced hammer on Ben's only double colorless energy, forcing Ben to switch Snorlax out and use Call for Family with Minccino to try to build up his board. Spencer then proceeds to pop off with his Turbo Basics Dragon deck, mowing through Ben's colorless Pokemon with Regidrago's Giant Fangs attack while building up energy on his bench dragons.
To it, this attack does 70 more damage. So 70 plus 70, 140 damage.
Wow, and look at that.
He sacked the double
He
dragon.
had to sack the double dragon energy to keep up tempo.
Despite a big 11th hour play from Ben,
will bring Spencer down to 2 cards in hand.
All right,
Hammer's
Hammer,
nice.
that is nice.
Enhanced Hammer's nice. That will probably be the last that we see. Oh, and the Lost Vacuum too. They're pretty much all the pieces he would need to be successful.
that
here.
results in deleting 5 energy from Spencer's board,
Wins most games. So
and then deleting 3 more energy with a Cyclozar attack.
That's not like fat. Is that retreat cost 4? That's insane.
yeah.
All right, so he had to go U-turn board on the active. So
It ends up being just too little too late, as Spencer is able to dig for a Raihan with Tatsugiri to get him both the energy he needed and the scoop up net he needs to take his final prize.
All right, and Spencer able to take the win, scoop up net, able to switch that Tatsugiri out of the active spots, and Spencer advancing to 5-0.
We move into the top cut games here, and in game 1 of top 8, after taking just a single knockout and spreading a bunch of damage with Morpeko and Zapdos, Cole's Lightning Spread deck proceeds to execute a 2-turn checkmate to take his remaining 5 prizes. Cole's Electivire speds 300 damage with its high voltage current attack, finishing off Hoopa and Spiritomb, and leaves Connor's Weavile, Guzzlord, and Liepard with just 40 HP remaining, allowing Regieleki to take the remaining 3 prizes on the next turn with its Terra Spark attack.
I mean, that's exactly what Lightning wants to do.
But Connor comes back with a vengeance, winning a quick game 2 with an Alolan Meowth and Hoopa, spoiling the fun against a very dead hand for Cole's Lightning deck.
Multiple turns.
You got to figure if the hand's dead, there's probably cards like Enhanced Hammer.
Oh, the scoop.
In game 3, Guzz Daddy takes 3 knockouts in a row, starting with a Guzmud Zebstrika to make sure Cole is unable to dig for more cards to stop the Guzzlord from quickly gobbling up all of Connor's remaining prizes.
Oh,
That's it. Oh, and Cole succumbs.
In top 4, we once again find Spencer playing against Colorless on stream, this time against Trevor, and finds himself down a game in game 2. But things are looking up for Spencer when Trevor has to mulligan 5 times.
Is kind of how this dragon deck is going. Okay. And I'm
And
Rose Tower,
the
right?
Rose Tower, in addition to the Dragon Sword. And I think that happened. And he'll even get to get 1 more card with his drop return.
And Spencer is able to surgically and permanently take out Skwovet with Raging Bolt's snipe attack and put it in the Lost Zone with Lost City, and then proceeds to put 150 damage on Trevor's Snorlax, leaving it on death's door and dead to any tool removal to get rid of the Cape of Toughness. Things seem to be going well, but Trevor expertly plays around Enhanced Hammer by just attaching basic energy to his Snorlax, and is able to knock out Spencer's only attackers in play.
And Thumping Snore is going to take the knockout.
That's when everyone realizes that Trevor had just played Colress's Tenacity.
You see that top card at the top of Trevor's discard pile, Andrew?
Yes.
What is the first word in that card's name?
No, Riley, no, Riley, no.
So Spencer does play Kyurem. And
Meaning that Spencer's Q-Rem's Trifrost attack is suddenly live and potentially representing 3 knockouts this turn for just a single energy. Except that Kyurem is hanging out in the prizes.
breaking scenario. You see that Colress in the discard pile and you must be excited.
No worries, Spencer has Arven in hand. Just get Hisuian Heavy Ball.
Yeah.
That's falling in a U-turn board. No, it's right.
Look at him.
You can see Spencer's excitement turn to frustration here.
SMH shaking my head, bro.
Oh no. Yeah, and there's no Hisuian Heavy Ball in this
There's
list.
no Hisui and Heavy Ball on the list? Bruh.
He still has the opportunity to launch a massive attack off.
You see him point to it, dude? Spencer reaching across the table to point to point to the colorless menacingly. No, just Guzma pass. Couldn't even get another energy onto the Drudagon. Oh my.
He doesn't have the resources to build it back up and attach. Oh.
Guzma, you know, with the Pelipper, Trevor's doing whatever he wants this turn.
Oh, and that's
there's
the handshake.
concession. Trevor advancing to the finals, and guess what?
And that left us with a final best of 3 match between 2 different takes on the Hops colorless deck, which had made up over 25% of the decks at the tournament, considering there are 11 types in the game. We had Trevor's double Pelipper version with Scoop Up Net and Devolution Spray, and Ben Morse's disruption-focused build with cards like Enhanced Hammer, Counter Catcher, and Reset Stamp. In Game 1, Trevor was able to turn what looked like a surefire donk victory for Ben with just a lone Wingull in play into an extremely close game, and even delayed taking his first knockout until he could guarantee he had Guzma in hand to gust up and knock out Ben's fully powered up Snorlax on the bench, leaving him with no good attackers in play.
Why isn't he going to attack?
Maybe he plans to use Hearsay this next turn to boss the Snorlax and take it out.
Oh, I was playing a
Remove all
little
those
bit.
attachments.
Yeah, playing a little bit more thoughtfully, I see. Oh, yup, that Snorlax
Oh my
is dead.
gosh.
Here it goes.
This is out of control. I cannot believe it's going like this after the first couple turns of the game.
What a reversal, Riley.
And proceeded to put Ben on the back foot with that play, and ended up going down to 1 prize remaining.
All right, here we go. Assault Land. I think he did rod the Snorlax.
That's right, because we had to.
Disrupt Trevor or hope that Trevor whiffs an energy because he knows that Wingull or the Pelipper out the
But Ben ended up being the player with the last Snorlax standing to take the last 2 prizes.
pass and hope that Ben
That's
doesn't
it.
have him out. BS Seeker just needs a Guzma.
And Guzma,
Yeah.
and we are on to Game 2. folks.
And win Game 1.
What a game one.
In Game 2, Ben takes an early 2 prize lead and goes down to just 2 prizes remaining to Trevor's 3. But Trevor kept a close race with Cramorant and claps back hard with a back-breaking combination of Revive and Raihan to bring Snorlax back, powered up, and Parallel City to force Ben to discard Oranguru immediately to take his 4th prize.
And the Hop Snorlax isn't the ideal.
Ben's Raihan onto Cyclizar falls 10 damage short of a KO on Snorlax, doing 140 damage. And Trevor flips double heads twice in a row to wake up with Snorlax and take his final 2 prizes.
Guzma wins the game. A Wake Up wins the game.
1 heads. 2 heads.
No.
Oh my God, dude.
Again, the winner being the last player with an attacking Snorlax.
It's close.
That means we go to Game 3,
Wow.
but the timer runs out after Game 2 and before Game 3 starts, and players are told that they will be playing in extra turns for Game 3. That means that once 3 turns pass, the player with the fewest remaining prizes is declared the winner. And if prizes are still even after those 3 turns, the game enters sudden death, and the winner becomes the first player to take a prize and break the tie. In the final game, Ben chooses to go second, believing from the judges that both players will get 2 extra turns before sudden death, starting with turn 0. After Ben starts his first turn as extra turns, with a Bidoof that is immediately under threat of being KO'd by an Oranguru, the livestream audience in chat points out that the turn counter on the table is incorrect.
Yeah, and I'll have to double check with Natalie on the floor. But since a player wasn't actively in a turn at the moment time was called, doesn't that make Trevor turn 1?
Is that the case?
And the judges stop play immediately to address the issue. You see, in timed best of 3 matches, when time has been called after the end of game 2, the player going first is actually turn 1, not turn 0, as there is no current turn being taken. And so the player who gets the first turn also gets the final extra turn on turn 3. This ensures that both players only get 1 turn to attack before the game goes to sudden death. But it does mean that the player going second only gets 1 turn of those 3 extra turns.
And we're hearing from the floor right now.
Yeah, resend it, bro. I think resend it, bro. No one wants to see it go down like this. Are they both okay with resending it? Are they both okay with resending it?
To remedy this, Ben is offered a chance by the judges to restart Game 3 from scratch with this new information and change his decision on if he wants to go first or go second. But Ben actually declines the offer, believing that his choice to go second was still the correct one, even given the new circumstances.
Ben said even with the Ben revealed that he would have still chose to go second, regardless. So,
Okay. And so here we are.
Dude, this is crazy.
This is potentially Ben's final turn of the game.
All right, so
Ben grabs Snorlax off of Artisan, attaches double turbo energy, and removes Bidoof from danger with a U-turn board, forcing Trevor to find a way to either deal 150 damage to knock out this Snorlax, or gust up the Bidoof to deal 60 damage with Oranguru, or find a way to survive 160 damage hit from Ben's Snorlax, because the double turbo is reducing Thumping Snore by 20 damage. Trevor has the Colress's Tenacity in hand, and he had the option to grab Town Store to get Cape of Toughness, which was in the deck, and that would put Oranguru out of KO range, but Trevor opts to try to draw into an Answery with Avery instead.
I don't think the stadium is going to be enough. I need to draw more cards.
He may have believed that Ben was running Fighting Fury Belt in his deck, which is understandable as most of the colorless decks were running it in their lists, including Trevor. And Cape of Toughness off of a Town Store wouldn't be enough of a boost if Ben was then able to use Town Store himself to get Fighting Fury Belt out of the deck. Trevor draws only the Fighting Fury Belt in his deck instead of the Cape of Toughness, and at that point has to just swing with Oranguru and hope that Ben doesn't have the third energy. But Ben just goes ahead and shows Trevor the Jet Energy in his hand, and the players shake hands after a hard-fought battle, with Ben Morse, the final champion of the Full Grip Games Journey Together 1K tournament. An absolutely amazing final between 2 great players using 2 different takes on the Hops colorless deck, and a well-earned victory for Ben Morse. Be sure to watch the full edited live stream over at Tricky Jim's channel, and I look forward to the next Full Grip Games tournament for the Destined Rivals expansion.
I'm going to go grab Benjamin Morse real quick for a winner's interview, so y'all hold tight. We'll be right back.